So we have ran into a problem recently, and that problem is that the SBGK015 Ryusendo has become extremely popular, but only 300 exist. And in my video review of that piece a month ago, I even said that it was sold out at that point, but people seem to be still trying very hard to find a new one. So today I'm going to help solve this issue by showing you two other options that you really should consider versus the SBGK015, since these pieces are available and in many ways are better options for most people. We will compare the SBGK015 Ryusendo to the SBGK017 US Special Edition, which is a Nanbu ironware inspired dial, which is a handcraft that dates back to Japan's Edo period and has a distinctive texture called arare, or hailstone. And we will compare it to the SBGY007 Omiwatari, which means God's Crossing, and has a dial that represents a frozen Lake Suwa, where a long ridge appears on the ice from one side to the other most years. Now let's find out which one of these pieces is actually the right one for you. What's up everyone, it's Chris with the Little Treasury channel. Welcome back. This is where we bring you original and in-depth watch content at least once per week. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be alerted as soon as we upload. I'm from Little Treasury Jewelers, which is located in Gambrills, Maryland. And it's where you go when you're in the know. As always, the watches that I review are for sale and can be purchased, so please see the description below to contact us. If you're just joining us now, I'll go over the watch's detailed measurements and features, and then I'll offer my personal opinion at the end. In my last video, I reviewed the Grand Seiko SBGK015 Urban Bamboo US Exclusive Edition. And this one has a crazy, almost holographic dial that even on my video didn't really capture the true look of. Make sure that you go into your nearest Grand Seiko store and check this one out in person because it is crazy. Wrist check time! Today I'm wearing my Bremont Descent Limited Edition, which I am lucky enough to have the last one ever made at number 407 out of 407. I know that many of you overlook this brand, but I really think the magic here is in this triptych case, and it's incredibly comfortable, and you really should try one of these in person if you ever have the chance to see it for yourself. Now tell me which watch that you're wearing while you're watching the video, and make sure to tell me why. Now let's get on to the features. In this comparison, the Omiwatari will be more different, and the Ryusendo and Nanbu will use the same case and dial layout, so will be grouped together at many times. My measurements for the SBGY007 Omiwatari are a 38.5mm case width, a 10.3mm thickness, a 42.6mm lug to lug, a 19.5mm lug width, and weighs in at 67.49 grams. While the Grand Seiko Ryusendo SBGK015 has a 38.7mm case width, a 12mm thickness, a 43.8mm lug to lug, a 19mm lug width, and weighs in at 72.38 grams, with the SBGK017 Nanbu having a bracelet and weighing in at 123.34 grams. The case is basically the same on all three, aside from a different lug pattern on the Omiwatari, preventing it from equipping a bracelet. It is very rounded looking and has Zaratsu finish on the bezel and upper portion, with a very small area of matte finish on the sides. A non-screwed out crown can be found at the 3 position and has the GS logo on it. The dial of the Omiwatari is in a light blue, which is meant to be the color, feel, and texture of the snow-covered ice on Lake Suwa, and the texture is absolutely noticeable. The dial of the Ryusendo has a swirling texture design, which is only shared with the much more expensive SBGW264 and is different from the SBGR311 Cookie and SBGH267 Whirlpool. This one is a vivid, light, extra saturated blue tone and represents the water that can be found underground in the caves of Ryusendo. The dial of the Nanbu is a reflective black and is Nanbu ironware inspired, which is a handcraft that dates back to Japan's Edo period and has a distinctive texture called arare, or hailstone. In the top middle portion of all three, you will find the GS logo in silver, with Grand Seiko below it in black on both the Omiwatari and Ryusendo, and silver on the Nanbu. The dial markers are all elongated angular shapes, which are all the same besides the 12, which has a double marker. A minute grade can be found between the dial markers and is very subtle. The hour and minute hands are Dauphine style and are very elongated, with the Omiwatari having a second hand in a deep blue color, and the other two having a small seconds complication instead, which is at the left middle portion, and on the Ryusendo has a silver circle with blue minute ticks and a silver toned curved hand, while the Nanbu has a gray circle with white minute ticks and a silver-toned hand. The power reserve indicator is only on the front of the Ryusendo and Nanbu and can be found at the right portion of the dial with a gold-toned curved hand and a gold outlined with white-filled power reserve indicator on the Ryusendo, and in gray with a white outline and silver-toned hand on the Nanbu. Each has 3 sections, each representing 1 day of power, while the Omiwatari has the power reserve indicator on the back. Spring drive can be found alone at the bottom middle portion on the Omiwatari in black. No loom can be found on any of these pieces, but I assure you that it would have ruined the look if they did do it. The case back is open on all 3, but the window is significantly larger on the Omiwatari than on the other 2. And that also brings us to a very significant difference. The Omiwatari is one of the only pieces Grand Seiko has made with the 9R31 movement, and it features the power reserve located at the top right of the back, which is 1 step closer to what you will find in a Crador Ichi 2. But the 9R31 will have a 72-hour power reserve versus the 60-hour on the Crador, but of course a much different decoration. The 9R31 is manually wound and is accurate to 1 second per day or 15 seconds per month on average. If you are familiar, the spring drive signature is a completely smooth second hand that glides across the dial, which is controlled by an electromagnetic braking system. The Ryusendo and Nanbu, instead of the spring drive, use the manually wound 9S63 movement. The 9S63 has a small seconds complication with power reserve and is an extra slim version of the 9S caliber, which is Grand Seiko's signature standard beat mechanism. It is accurate to between losing 3 and gaining 5 seconds per day, has a 72-hour power reserve, and beats at 28,800 beats per hour. It has a total of 33 joules. All 3 pieces do come with a crocodile strap, even the Nanbu, which you get a bonus strap in the box in addition to that bracelet. The Ryusendo strap is in a dark blue, and Omiwatari is black with blue stitching, and the Nanbu strap is black and stitchless. They all have a folding buckle with the GS logo. The Nanbu comes equipped with a semi-mesh style link bracelet that has alternating matte finished and high polished links, and a folding buckle at the end with the GS logo and no micro adjust. This bracelet can be ordered separately for the Ryusendo, but it will not fit on the Omiwatari. All 3 of these pieces are 30-meter water resistant, and the Nanbu US Special Edition can be yours for $8,900. The Ryusendo US Limited Edition of 300 pieces for $7,500, and the Omiwatari, which is in the global lineup, for $8,300. Now for my personal opinion. I'll say this, all 3 of these pieces are great choices, and you can't go wrong because each one of these is really impressive in its own way. They all fit great on my 6.5 inch wrist and will look great on pretty much every wrist size with this nice case. So you know how striking the Ryusendo is, and how it can be seen from a mile away with its aqua blue bright dial. Is the brightness and this highly saturated color in particular for everyone though? Probably not. This is more of a piece that you buy when you already have a strong collection and just want something wild to add in, which is most likely why Grand Seiko made this into a limited edition with such a little number. The Nanbu is one that most of you haven't even noticed yet and has one of the most attractive textured black dials that I have ever seen. It really looks like you are wearing a piece of Nanbu ironware on your wrist, which I recommend Googling if you are familiar with it. But this dial isn't just a flat black, it's a very shiny, eye-catching black, and I really like it. It does also come with a strap as well, if you would like to dress this thing up a little bit more. This one, being a black dial, will be your most neutral option, and of the 3, this is the safest way to go for an actual daily wear, although it comes with a little bit higher price tag. The Omiwatari stands out from the other 2 because it has a completely clean dial aside from the spring drive text, and has a normal size second hand, and the most special part is that it's equipped with the spring drive movement. The dial here is actually the most subdued of the 3 texture-wise, and has a light blue tone, which is less neutral than the black, but definitely not as loud as the aqua blue. My personal favorite of the 3 here is the Omiwatari, and the reasoning behind it is because it has a manual spring drive caliber with a power reserve that's on the back, a totally clean but fascinating dial, and of course you get the mesmerizing sweep of the second hand. But I also like the story the best of the 3 here with it, and the price is in between both. But please tell me in the comments below which one is your favorite, and don't forget to tell me why. Thanks for watching today, everyone. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. And of course, if you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share with all of your friends and your family members too. I look forward to seeing you next video.